Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm a spirit channeler and oracle card reader who channels both light and shadow energies in my readings, which means if you're easily triggered, please find yourself another reader. For those of you who still remain, today's reading will be on the topic of past life love story with this person. So this is for romance only, and we're going to dive deep into what was your past life love story with this person. So I want you to close your eyes and think of the person in question. Now, you can also, if you're not currently with someone or you don't particularly have an ex you want to ask about, what I recommend you do is to close your eyes and think about the person you're going to marry. And I also recommend that you all do that regardless if you have two people you want to inquire about. I think you should inquire about an ex or your current romantic partner, and then close your eyes again, breathe again, open your eyes again, and then choose a pile that corresponds to the past life love story of the person you're going to marry. Right away, if you find that you are drawn to a second pile when you think about the person you want to marry, the person that you will marry, and then that pile is different than the one that you're drawn to about your current romantic partner, that is a clear indication that you will not be marrying your current romantic partner. So you have 4 piles to choose from left to right, pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, keeping in mind this is a general reading. Pause the video if you need some more time to choose your pile, and I will see you in your timestamp. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So your past life story with this romantic person, your past life love story. So you chose the links, keeper of secrets. Take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowing. You see others' secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. So while I was casting your Kipper cards, I had a vision back to that movie slash like documentary of Selena, and I kept hearing her song, I'm dreaming of you tonight, for tomorrow I'll be holding you tight, and there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be, na 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 na, here in my arms you and me, something like that. Okay, so I had the first vision I had though was of that maid or that personal assistant killing her. So right away I know that this is rather tumultuous. And also with the lyrics of that song could be really sweet. It was meant to be sweet, but I'm hearing it in an obsessive way. I'm dreaming of you tonight. So constantly dreaming and thinking of you. For tomorrow, I'll be holding you tight. So you turned this person down, but they didn't take no for an answer. So tomorrow, if it was not today, then it's tomorrow. If it's tomorrow, it's the day after tomorrow. But eventually I'll be holding you tight. Because there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. No one else could ever like replace you. And here in my arms, you and me, I'm hearing that like eventually you're going to be in my arms. So the male in this partnership, now mind you, I need to mention that regardless of what your gender is in this lifetime, your gender could have been switched in the last lifetime. However, there is a good chance that you kept the same gender. But regardless, the male in this past life was obsessed with the female. So we have here the concern card, the house card, toil and labor. Listen, this person was stalking your house. Okay, I'm seeing you as like a rather decent young lady. Not particularly super wealthy, but like, you know, you ate, you had clean clothes, you were educated, well-spoken with manners and stuff, and rather cute. You also don't seem very tall, but I mean, this is a general reading, so don't take that so to heart, I guess, you know. This man, This man had some sort of official position. The first thing that's coming to my mind is a marshal or a police officer or a sheriff or something like that. Another thing that's coming to my mind is your boss or your immediate superior in whatever place you worked, because we do have this toil and labor card here. So wherever you worked, this was your immediate superior. But yeah, so he was either your immediate superior or the ultimate boss in wherever you worked, or he was a police officer or a sheriff or a marshal or something like that. So someone who you're technically supposed to trust, someone who people are technically supposed to trust, but he's dodgy. And he tried to court you here with the official person here on the courtship card. Now, you put an end to that very quickly with this coffin here. You put an end to it. This person was not your type at all. I mean, it makes sense. He had rather low energy. He may have been very like rough around the edges, not much courtesy and manners. So you totally brushed him off. Now, he wasn't having that. He was obsessed with you. And you know what? I'm fiddling with tarot behind my back because I kept the deck in case I needed to clarify some things. I was expecting to do that. I was fiddling with it and I pulled the Nine of Swords. So he was dreaming of you and thinking of you constantly, and his obsession with you was giving you nightmares and making you paranoid. At some point, you probably had to have a security outside your door, depending on how wealthy you were and how much you could afford that. It might have just been like the boy who managed your horse and your carriage. You might have said you need to stay up and to keep an eye out, maybe a maintenance guy at your home or something, or maybe your father may have had an employee or someone who he could have said, hey, come stay up and over the night and keep a lookout. And if that it wasn't the case that you had these employees, or your father had these employees, or you had like maids or people you can keep stay up and keep a lookout, you were locking your doors. You weren't getting much sleep, because especially if you didn't have like a maid or someone to like keep a lookout, you were anxious. And you know what, I'm getting like two like slightly different subgroups here. One of you guys, like I said, you were kind of like middle class-ish, like regular. That's the person I described at the beginning. The other person I keep picking up is someone who is rather poor, someone who worked in a mill, like a cotton mill or one of those places. Actually, what it depicts in this card right here, one of those mills, I'm seeing that. Or maybe one of those workhouses, was essentially like a welfare house. So, but some of you guys, you lived in a dorm with other women. So it's like you worked with these women and they provided you lodging, and you lived like in a dorm with them, and you slept in a dorm with them. So he slept in the either like nearby or his room. He also slept in the same house or lodging place because he was an employee of this company as well. And some of you, I'm picking up here, I'm seeing he wasn't exactly your immediate superior. For some of you guys, he was like a janitor or maintenance guy in this mill that you worked for. So even though he technically wasn't your immediate superior, you had the lowest job. So technically anyone else other than the people who worked directly in the factories were slightly above. And also because you're a woman and he's a man, in this time period, something happened between the two of you. They may have blamed you and less him. And you know what? I'm getting very anxious. I'm getting very anxious, and I'm picking up your anxiety. You were really having a lot of anxiety, especially if you resonate with being working in some sort of mill, or maybe even being in an orphanage or some place where you had to sleep with in a dorm. This guy had a key to your dorm technically, because he was the groundskeeper or something like that. Or if he was your immediate supervisor, he could probably talk to the madam who like took care of the dorms. What is she called? I can't remember what she's called. The Brits have a name for them. I can't remember the official name of that employee, but like when you have a dorm of people, if you look at those movies or those television shows from like 1800s, there's like a woman who has the key to the dorms. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But he could have like spoken to her and stuff like that, and maybe gotten the key like when she fell asleep or something like that. Anyways, but that's some of you. Some of you guys, you lived in that environment I'm seeing, but others of you, you were like kind of middle class, maybe just like lower middle class. And you had your own home, but you had to work. So, you know, you weren't one of those girls who got to like live off of her dad's money. You had to get a job when you were old enough. And this guy worked at your place of employment. So anyways, he had some sort of official position. Most of you guys, I'm picking up that he worked with you, but remember I did say that he could have been like a police officer or something here. Anyways, he tried to court you. You said no. And he was really obsessed with you. And I'm picking up though, for some of you guys, I am seeing a murder. I'm not going to lie. I did at the beginning feel like a constriction in my throat, and I did see some blood, especially with that Selena scene from the movie. I'm picking up here the Magician card. The person you're inquiring about may be a Gemini in this lifetime, but he doesn't have to be. But this person was able to kind of like throw the wool over other people's eyes in a way. So especially if he was a police officer, he was able to like do dodgy things and cover up the evidence of it. And he was rather sneaky. We have the Eight of Pentacles here. He definitely worked around you. And we have the Ten of Cups. Look at this. Look at this. I'm not making this up. There's you, lower middle class, just regular girl who, you know, cottage girl, village girl, working in your garden. Okay, you might have been a farmer's daughter or something, whatever, it doesn't matter. Working in your garden. Here he is stalking you in the background. Okay. So some of you, I am seeing a murder. The thing is though, if he did murder you, he did end up getting caught for it. He wasn't able to brush that one under the rug, because with this courthouse card here, the bad health, the community, the gift, I am seeing that if you guys did die here with this coffin card, there was retribution. So he ended up going to jail, or he may have been hanged, or he may have been lynched by a mob of angry villagers or townspeople or whatever. So he definitely got his. He didn't get away with it. Others of you, he didn't kill you, but he assaulted you. Yeah, and I pulled the Temperance card, so you had to heal a lot from this. And here you have the bad health card, so you had to heal from whatever he did to you. But he did also get caught for that too, because right after here we have the courthouse card. So eventually he did get caught for that, and he did like go to jail for that, whatever he did. But I am seeing like that he like beat you up. He got really angry and beat you up. He may have even tried to imprison you, like kidnap you. He may have raped you, I'm not sure. But here we have the Seven of Swords here. This guy was very, very sneaky, a sneaky bastard. Sneaky bastard. So that is your past life love story with this person. So you probably resonate with this person being some sort of tumultuous karmic partner who you were tied to. You may also resonate with this person being obsessed with you. or you maybe were the one who was obsessed with him or her. I mean, I'm only doing 4 pals, so maybe you're the one who did all this. I don't know. But in this lifetime, your relationship was rather toxic. Someone was manipulating the other person for sure. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. I'm fiddling with the cards in the back as I'm channeling, and I'm saying someone was manipulating someone, and I pull the devil card. I can't make this up. I just can't. It's just like, come on. I pull the devil right after I say someone was manipulating someone. So, and toxic. So someone was toxic here in this lifetime. Someone may have cheated a lot in this lifetime here with this 3 of Cups here. Yeah, so if you felt off about this person, yeah, King of Wands in reverse, he was very controlling in that lifetime, and in this lifetime he was very controlling over you. And here I pulled the 5 of Swords. So he was very controlling over you when you guys were together in this lifetime. And that is because, like, I guess like his soul was trying to get a second chance to be with you. But he will still carry forward some sort of mental health issue in this lifetime. So again, that toxicity, maybe the narcissism, the borderline personality disorder, the bipolar disorder, or the, you know, whatever it is. Pathological liars, a compulsive liar, multiple personality disorder. There's something that he has in this lifetime, because he carried it forward from this past one because of this heinous act that he committed. But if it's any consolation, he did indeed get either jailed for it or lynched or hung for it. Yeah, and he's a sneaky bastard, the keeper of the secrets here, and the 7 of Swords is there. And here we have the 2 of Cups. So very very juvenile, shallow kind of relationship that you guys would have had in this lifetime. And and short-lived. I don't really see this lasting super long. Mind you, this is a general reading, but the people I'm specifically tapping into, I'm seeing this being like a relationship that was max 3 years. And here we have the Knight of Swords and the 6 of Swords. He may very well be a air sign in this lifetime. He may be a Capricorn because we pulled the Devil, but I'm picking up air sign. That's especially Gemini. He may be a Scorpio. I picked up Scorpio. Yeah, so you definitely left him here. And he's also very good with his words. He's very good with bullshitting. And he's very sneaky. He was very sneaky in that past life because he was really good at covering his tracks. And he's therefore very sneaky in this lifetime too. So you probably resonate with like not knowing that he was cheating on you or lying to you until the very, very end. Like he was probably able to get away with it for years. And here I pulled the Page of Swords. So it's like you had to do a lot of digging and you had to pick up the little breadcrumbs of evidence in order to fully come to this whopping devil of a lie, this whopping devil of the truth. You know, you had to pick up little breadcrumb trails to finally get to it, because he's very good at covering his tracks and lying and being sneaky about his deception in this lifetime as well. Okay, so those are your messages. I hope that helped you. Let me know if it resonated, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 2. Welcome to your reading. So what is your past life love story with this person? So you picked the Hummingbird Miracles card. It says you are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. So this person in your past life brought you a lot of joy. They were pretty much the light in your life, and your life was a little bit dim. Okay, so this is the first vision that I had. I had a vision of a man riding on a horse with some armor on, and then he got down from the horse. And he got down from the horse in front of a large, like a manor or a palace. I think it was a manor, or like a large manor. Okay. And there was one woman, an older woman, and then two young girls behind her. They looked a little bit frightened. So at first I thought that like the guy, he was, I don't know, he was above them and something like that. But then he sort of bowed. So this is what happened. You were some sort of noble woman or a royal. But you had some sort of blood that was tied to an old house, an old like dukedom, earldom, or something that was rather competitive with the monarch at the time. So what happened is that you were married off to the prince of, the Prince of Wales, essentially, like the prince, the heir apparent. No, not heir apparent. Heir apparent. You were married off to him. I'm not picking up that he was rude or anything like that, but it was a loveless marriage. And this is emphasized because it's represented here by this imprisonment card, and I clarified it just, to be on the safe side, because I don't want to give you guys false information. And we got the sun in reverse. I actually just noticed it was the sun. I thought it was the lovers. It looks like the lovers card from this deck, kind of. It's pretty much the same two people, I think. Or no, it's not actually. But anyways, it's in reverse. So this marriage of yours was rather dull. Mind you, this is a general reading. So for some of you, this marriage could have been like a nightmare. But for most of you, I'm not picking up a nightmare. I'm just picking up a dull marriage where like you guys barely saw each other. It was very transactional and you were bored. Like it was like that. So the thing is, this man was a knight in a past life. He worked for the crown. And at some point, because he was always around, like in the court around the royal family, and then when you married into the royal family, he was around you. I think now I'm seeing that he was assigned to guard you and your sibling and your mother. This is coming off like there was that movie. It was is it The White Queen or something? But it's based off of that war that happened in England where it was when Henry VIII's parents came into power because they usurped the throne somehow from the Yorks. So if you know what I'm talking about, then you're gonna know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. But this is exactly what I'm thinking about. One of the daughters, who was actually a princess, but her position dropped because they lost the throne. She married the prince, I think. Anyway, she married someone there. Anyway, so it's something like that. This is exactly what it's reminding me of. So anyways, they wanted to form an alliance pretty much because there was some sort of unrest in the kingdom. And here we have I'm clarifying the adjudication card, and I got the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. You ended up marrying like a cousin. I'm telling you, you had blood that, if your brother was still alive, or if you had a brother, or if if your dad was still alive or something, then your brother would have been on the throne, or maybe you would have been on the throne. It's kind of like that. Like, it's just like ever so slightly, like you were close enough that there were some people who were, some houses who were trying to form a rebellion to support your house, kind of like the Yorks, and then there were some other houses who were supporting the people who were on the throne. So it was like two people or two houses had a claim for the throne or something, and you were kind of caught in the crossfire. I mean, like most women were back in that time, you were caught in the crossfire. And this marriage was an alliance here, and he was like your cousin. He was probably like your first cousin or something like that who you married. It's coming off something like that. Yeah, I think it's coming off like that. Like two brothers who were fighting over it. And then I think your dad, I don't see your dad in the picture. So your dad is dead. I don't see any male siblings around you. So either your mom never had boys, which is why the throne went to your uncle's side, or they died somehow. So anyways, these are just little details, doesn't really matter. Anyways, you're here for your love story with this guy. You were trapped in that contractual marriage. He was around you often. When you were first taken to court, he was assigned to guard you and guard your mother and your other sibling. If it helps, I'm seeing you with strawberry blonde hair. If that means anything to you, take it. If not, whatever. But all three of you guys had the same strawberry blonde hair, your mom, your sibling, and you. So this guy actually, he had like darker hair, like dark brown. His hair looks like the knight. So the guy, the ex you're inquiring about, or your current husband, whoever you're inquiring about, he was a knight. So anyways, he was charged to guard you. And it's funny because underneath the deck here, we have this King of Wands. So he was charged to guard you. And when you were no longer like a kind of political prisoner and you were married, he was still around you because he was in the court and he was like one of the top knights there. So he was always in the palace and you guys would pass each other somehow, though you guys, it was an instant connection. So quite frankly, this is coming off as that the two of you have another past life together. I mean, this is not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched at all, because a lot of people have multiple past lives together. But for you guys, definitely 100%, you guys had multiple past lives together. So before this one that I'm telling you about, there was another one, at least there were more. Okay, so this explains why you guys had an instant connection to each other in the life I'm channeling now, because I'm not exactly seeing how it happened, and it's just because your souls were instantly recognized each other, and the energetic pull between the two of you was undeniable. That's just what happened. It was treason, it was adultery. Nevertheless, the two of you were in love. You guys were also in different stations because you were now a princess, I believe, born a lady, and he was a knight. So yeah. Instantly, your souls recognize each other, and you guys started an affair. The good thing is, I'm not seeing that your affair got found out. A lot of times in these movies, we see that when the queen starts an affair, she eventually gets found out and the lover gets hanged, or he gets beheaded actually. And she might actually end up getting beheaded. Lucky for you, I'm not seeing anyone getting beheaded. He was your reprieve from this dull marriage. We have this gift card here. So while you were kind of trapped in this imprisonment here and you were bored and melancholy here, he was the gift and this miracle who really kept you afloat. And there was kind of a dichotomy here. We have the poverty card next to the great fortune card. So you really had a lot of fortune. He wasn't poor, but in comparison, like he was like several ranks below you. And in comparison, he was poor. Because if he lost his job, then he would lose a paycheck, you know? Here we have the World card. Yeah. And you see the World in this deck is actually depicting a knight on a horse. And there's the castle. You guys never fully ended up together. For some of you, I'm kind of picking up that, yeah, oh my God. He escaped being executed. He left. For most of you guys, he left at some point after a certain amount of years. He retired, or yeah, and underneath the deck we have the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like he was paid off somehow. Okay, someone paid him off. It might have been you, actually, because maybe when some people were starting to talk, you gave him a lot of money and you told him to just leave, like leave the country, leave the kingdom, and he did. He had to flee because I think at some point some people were starting to find out, but this went on for several years. So this went on for several years, and he had to leave. He had to leave. So you just ended up, I don't think you ever saw him again. Yeah, and we have this 4 of Cups card here. I'm seeing him leaving, and I'm seeing you staying in your position to take care of your family, because by this point you would have had children and heirs and stuff. Probably 3 children you had. Some of them may have been fathered by him, but doesn't matter. But he had to leave. He got some money. Maybe someone else gave him the money to leave and to not come back and to not even tell you that he was leaving. And I pulled the 9 of Pentacles here in reverse. Yeah, it was either you or it was someone in the court who said, here, take this, you should go, or else if you come back you're going to get beheaded. It was kind of like that. So for some of you guys, yeah, and I just pulled the Moon card. Most of you guys, he had to slip out at nighttime, and I don't think you ended up seeing him again. You guys didn't get to say goodbye. I'm not seeing that. It was rather abrupt and quick. He may have even have gotten arrested, and when he was in the tower, like some people like let him out, gave him a boat or whatever, gave him some money, and just he had to dip right away, and he did not get to say goodbye to you. Or if it wasn't that, it was he had to leave very quickly. In fact, here I actually see you distracting the king, distracting your husband while he slipped out. It's like your husband was never really the wiser of what happened. Or if he was, he overlooked it, but he overlooked it only because the guy left and it was over quickly. Like the rumors were stamped out quickly. But quite frankly, for most of you guys, he just never found out. And I keep pulling this 9 of Pentacles. Like I must have pulled it like 3 times. So he definitely left. He got a chunk of money and he left. So you were emotional about it. And yeah, you were emotional about it. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. You guys didn't get a happily ever after. You had like several years. It's coming off like at least a good 5, if not 7 years, 10 even max though, of happiness together. Kind of happiness. It was like sneaky happiness. And then yeah, and then it ended abruptly. He had to sneak out. And yeah, I'm pulling this 3 of Cups here, and underneath that we have the King of Swords. Someone found out, and these little ladies of the court and people of the court were gossiping. People were starting to find out, so he had to leave very quickly, and you never saw him again. I'm sorry to say that, but at least you're with him now, or you will be in the future if you're not with him yet. Here you are, sad over him, and he's sad over you as well. Yeah, and I want to mention, everything happened so sneakily under like the moonlight, that not many people knew what happened. And as a result, it's like that energy was kind of blocked. It took like a little longer for me to tap into like what actually happened, because it was very secretive when he snuck out and left the palace and left you. And another thing I want to mention, sorry, I'm coming back in after I cleared out your reading, is that I channeled, because this is a general reading, I channeled very specifically that whole royalty thing. Because it's a general reading, if it wasn't that a royalty thing, you were still, the female was still nobility. So it may have been the story that I told you, but on a slightly smaller scale. So like the daughter of an earl, the daughter of a viscount maybe, and he would have maybe worked for the family. He may have been a footman, a head butler, or something like that, either in your household or someone else's household. So it may be the story that I told you, but just on a slightly smaller scale. But because this is a general reading, I just had to come in and mention that in case you're thinking, oh my God, this sounds so far-fetched. Like it could be you were the daughter of an earl, not a princess, So there you go. And another thing I want to mention is that this doesn't have to be England. I tend to channel England when it comes to that sort of time period, but this could have been Russia, China, Turkey, any place that had an empire or a royal family, a monarchy. Something you may resonate with in this lifetime is that he's rather protective over you, kind of unnaturally protective, and maybe even a little bit unnaturally jealous. It's because you guys had to be so sneaky last time that his soul might still be a little bit on edge. Like he might have carried forward that anxiety that you might cheat on him, or that you might find someone else and leave him, or that something might happen to you and he might lose you. So he may have carried forward a bit of like anxiety that manifests as like jealousy or overprotectiveness in this lifetime. You may resonate with that. He's also very loyal and devoted. He still carried forward that knight, that honorable knight energy, where they took the vow to, they were honorable. And like I said, yeah, your souls had many lifetimes together. And this is a lifetime where it's supposed to be made right so that you guys can actually be together properly in the open. Because here I pulled the Hierophant and the Six of Wands. In this lifetime, it was supposed to be made. I don't know if it has been for you, but in this lifetime, you're supposed to be able to be together openly and forever. Another thing you may resonate with is the female in here being a little bougie. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but because you were such a high-ranking noble in your past life, even if you grew up in modest means in this lifetime, the female here has a bit of a class to her, like a high class air about her, a little bit more of a noble, bougie air to her. Not snobbish, but where the female just has a bit more of a commanding sort of grand presence without even trying. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Those are your messages. I hope that resonated and I hope that helped you. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 3. Welcome to your reading. So, what is the past life love story with your person? You chose the elk, nobility. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. So, immediately I had a vision of a lot of water. Now, at first I was thinking it was the Titanic. And I am going to say that for some of you guys, your romantic partner took the Titanic voyage or took a voyage on a ship and the ship sank. You were not on that ship. So for some of you, it was just maybe he was a merchant, or maybe this was the actual Titanic, but he was on some ship and the ship sank. Now, I'm going to get into the reading for the bulk of you guys. This still involves water and ships. Your romantic partner was in the Navy or in the military in general. So this was during a war, during a deployment. So all of the soldiers either got on a train here, depending on what time period it is, because this is a general reading. This could be any time period. And because we have this depiction here of the train and in my vision, I'm seeing a lot of water. I know that for some of you guys, it was during the time period before trains and soldiers would have been deployed on the ship. Also, that would mean that some of them, they were actually just in the Navy, regardless of what time period it was. And others of you were during the time period where there were actually some trains. But even if there were some trains, depending on where they were going, they probably had to take a train to like the edge of the country and then take a ship to like whatever country they were going to. So anyways, your romantic partner was in the military. He was deployed. Here we have this message of concern. You are seeing him off here. Message of concern, despair, bad health, expectation, pathway. You are waiting for him for at least 2 years. At least, minimum. You are waiting for him to come back. You guys exchanged letters back and forth. He even informed you when he got injured here. And he was writing to you and you were writing to him. A lot of letters back and forth. That is, of course, keep in mind, if you didn't resonate or you wouldn't know, but if he didn't die right away on the ship, like I said at the beginning, this is the secondary subgroup here that I'm talking about. For others of you, if he got on a ship and the ship sank, that's the end of the story pretty much. So yeah, so you guys were sending a lot of mail back and forth, correspondences back and forth. Unfortunately, he did not come back. So for all of you guys, he ended up dying. And here, though, there is a little bit of something happening here that I was like, what the heck is going on? And when I tried to tune into it, I was like, was she pregnant? Did she have a baby out of wedlock? And was she fighting with his mother and his sisters? And then I pulled, when I was getting like a little annoyed, then I pulled the Four of Wands, the High Priestess, and underneath the deck we have the Empress here. Guys, a large chunk of you guys had a secret baby with him. Now, mind you, general reading here. Some of you guys were actually legally married to this guy. So what happened is that when he died, you received a payout from the court. Here it is, the payout from the court. What you did is you took that money and you moved. You couldn't stand being in the home that his memories were in. And furthermore, I feel like a lot of you couldn't stand being in the city where you guys had a lot of memories. Every time you would pass by certain restaurants or certain spots, you would just remember him. So a lot of you guys left the city completely or left the country completely with the payout that you got from the government. The rest of you guys, you were not legally married yet. He was like your sweetheart. He was promised to you. You guys were engaged, or if you weren't engaged, you were like a secret girlfriend. A good chunk of you guys had a kid for this guy. And for those of you who were not married to this guy and had a kid, because if you were not married to this guy and you did not have a kid, your story ends here. But if you were married to this guy and you did have a kid, there's some sort of court issue where you were fighting. It appears to be his mother and his siblings in court, maybe also his father, if his father was still alive. Here we have the Queen of Swords here. You came in with some sort of information, being that I have his son, your grandchild here, and your nephew or your niece here. We have this Eight of Pentacles here. I'm seeing a lawyer working on it, and this Tower moment here. If it wasn't for these two money cards here, I would have thought this Tower moment meant that you lost. But you ended up getting some money. I think for some of you guys, that his parents paid you out, the family paid you out to get you to go away. And that's actually what happened. They said, you know, take this money and leave. So that's exactly why you had to leave. Others of you, the court awarded you the money if you had his kid, but there was some sort of either a secret payout or a official legal payout that you got if you either had a kid with him, and again, like I said, if you were married with him, there was no big issue. You were in his will pretty much. Although for some of you guys, maybe you guys got married so quickly, like right before he deployed, that he didn't have time to really make a will, and then you had to fight with his family in court after he left. So yeah, a little bit of a fight though I'm seeing with his family. Regardless, even if you were married to him, there's still some sort of issue with his family and his estate and his money. There was a little bit of an argument there for all of you guys about something to do with his money. Here again with the spread that I just pulled out, I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing you being like surrounded by people who are trying to mess with you after the fact. And it's like they're not trying to give you these pentacles here. It's like they're working against you in the opposite direction. Here we have the Eight of Swords here. You were trapped in some sort of way. But we have this Queen of Wands, which means you were very persistent with it. We do have the Sun under the deck, so I do believe you got something, but you definitely left the city after that. The King of Swords. Some of you guys, I am seeing the father, if he was still alive, paid you out to get you to just leave quietly. He paid you out. And funny, I just pulled the Chariot. Well, I didn't pull it, it was underneath the deck. Yeah, this reading is very straightforward. This may actually end up being the shortest that I've done so far out of the three. Let me see if there's anything else that wants to come through. Okay, I just got thrown a twister in this reading, so that probably explains why it was a bit short at the beginning, because now we have another small subgroup that just popped out. Let me put the cards down. There is some of you where he did come back. He didn't die. Most of you guys he did, though. Most of you guys. There is a group of you, though, that he did come back. Unfortunately, when he came back, things didn't go super well, I'm seeing. At first, things were great. Here we have the Six of Wands, the King of Pentacles. He came back victorious. So your country won the war. There were parades in the streets. Everyone was happy. All the soldiers got, you know, an extra bonus just for, you know, winning the war. Everything is stable again in the country with the King of Pentacles here. Then there appears to be some kind of gambling or drinking the money away on the part of this male, this soldier. Probably has to do with shell shock. He was not he was not the same when he came back. Yeah, I'm seeing like an alcoholic and a gambler. That's what I'm seeing. It's like a new way that he handles his money here, putting it in different pots here. The Five of Pentacles, he ended up losing money for this. Again, maybe even like a drinking problem here with the Seven of Cups. Actually, that's another interpretation of that card, like an actual interpretation of that card, which I forgot about, and I was just picking it up. So that just confirms that I'm picking up the right thing. With this Page of Pentacles in reverse, he was not happy with the way he was not able to assimilate back into civilian life very well. With that mental health issue, the shell shock, and also the fact that he probably had a lot of honors and awards and stuff like that from being in the military. He may have even had like a slightly high rank, even moved up the ranks. And when he came back, he had to go back to some sort of old job. He may have been a cook, a butcher, a mechanic. I'm picking up. And there was a little bit of a dichotomy. He was very celebrated in the military. This is reminding me of Rome. If you guys ever watched that television series, a great television series, by the way. There was Lucius Vorenus, amazing actor. He was a centurion. So I think he was maybe second rank or third rank in Caesar's army. He was used to giving people orders and stuff like that. Then he came back to Rome and he had a hard time adjusting to civilian life. Like at some point he had a small stint of being a butcher where he tried that for a bit. So it's kind of like that. Mind you, this guy Vorenus, he wasn't a drunk or a gambler, but for this guy here, your ex or this romantic partner in this past life, I am picking up an issue with drinking and an issue with gambling, either one of them or both of them together. And a dichotomy here with the lower job that he had to take when he came back. So that prestige, all the prestige that he gained from being in the Navy, the military, all that, it was like it kind of went away and he had to do these like manual service jobs. And it messed with your relationship. So here I pulled the Six of Swords. For some of you guys, this guy kind of ran away. Because here I just pulled the Eight of Swords because he felt trapped in this lifestyle and he wanted to get back out on the sea. He wanted to get back out there. He wanted to move. He wanted to do something different. Some of you guys, he just up and left you and your family. Others of you guys got a divorce. Yeah, you guys got a divorce, some of you guys. I'm seeing here with this Four of Pentacles. Underneath the deck, we have the Tower. It's like trying to hold on to the stability that your relationship once had, especially before the war. It didn't carry forward and it fell apart with that Tower there. Just out of curiosity, I want to see what happened to you. For those of you who would be in this subgroup here, where he actually did come back. But this is the smaller group of you. Like I said, most of you guys, he died. He didn't come back at all. Because that was the first thing I got, and that seemed like the only thing. It was only after I pulled some more cards that I got thrown this extra subgroup here. So I'm trying to, let's see what happened to you. Okay, we have the Star. You guys were still stuck on him. Now, you knew that the relationship went down. Like, you weren't really happy in the relationship, but you were kind of still clinging on to the old him. You were still hoping he would change. You were hoping that you could heal him, that you could make him better, and that your relationship could get back to the way it was before he left to war. So you guys were still kind of stuck on him. Yeah, you see this? Seven of Pentacles, you're still like trying to plant good seeds in this relationship when all you kept getting was like weeds. Weeds kept popping up in this relationship, and you kept trying to like pull the weeds out and plant some good seeds, hoping that it would fix it. Some of you guys were still pining. Oh, now we have the Ten of Pentacles. Some of you guys were still pining over him even after you guys broke up, or even after he left and disappeared. Yeah, we have the Five of Cups. But we do have that Ten of Pentacles though. You know what? With those two, I'm seeing a delusion. The High Priestess. I'm seeing a delusion. I'm seeing a delusion. You guys were delusional. I'm not seeing anything concrete. This is all in your head. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. He didn't give you anything. Like, he lost all his money. You had to like keep whatever small money that he brought home to make sure that you fed your kids and that you ate and that they had clothes. Because if he was able to keep all of the money that he brought home, like, you guys would starve and your kids would all have holes in their clothes, and so would you, because he like was not, with this Knight of Pentacles in reverse, he quickly like got rid of his money. Here we have the Six of Swords. And underneath the deck, we have the Seven of Swords. Someone left. With that, I got that Six of Swords twice. I don't know if I showed you it the first time. I can't remember, but I think I did. Someone left. And I really feel like it was him, because you seem a little delusional. Like hoping that it was going to fix itself, that you were going to be able to fix it. Yeah, I'm seeing that again with the Ten of Pentacles next to the Seven of Pentacles. You were trying to plant a large harvest of stability and financial stability and emotional stability. Here we have the Death card. I'm going to end the reading there because this is perfect. The Death card. It was the end. It ended. All of you guys, your relationship ended. And here underneath the deck, we have the Nine of Pentacles. But what is imperative is the depiction, the sea, the boat. A lot of you guys, he left on a boat. Seriously. He was in the Navy and he missed being at sea, and maybe he left on a boat, a merchant's boat or something, where he went back into the sea. Some of you guys, unfortunately, he may have committed suicide in the sea. But yeah, the rest of you, he left and he went back on a boat somehow. He went back to the sea, to the ocean somehow. Maybe he was a fisherman or something like that, but he left to be a fish. He went to do something on the sea. And then the other group of you guys, he died at sea. And then the other group of you guys, he left to go to war, and then he died in the trenches or died in the hospital in the other country, not in your country. Yeah, and sorry, I just pulled again the Eight of Swords. There he is in the coffin. So yeah, I'm sorry, a little morbid, but this is what happens. And I'm coming back in after I already closed out your reading. I tend to do this, sorry. Something that you may resonate with is that in this lifetime, he may have a strong affinity to anything nautical. So ships, boats, canoes, swimming, just beaches, anything nautical or water related. He may have a strong either aversion to it or a strong connection to it, a strong pull to it. He may also be a water sign with all that water energy there. And if it's not the sea or water, he has a strong affinity to anything military. And another thing I picked up is that you yourself, or the female in this situation, may resonate with not exactly trusting people with her money. So people that you should trust with your money, like your mother, your sister, or your husband's sister or mother, for some reason you feel a little uneasy having people in charge of your money. So that may resonate. Also, the female may be prone to getting anxiety whenever the male goes away on a long trip where they're far apart. So I hope that helped you. Those are your messages. I hope that resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pal number 4. Welcome to your reading. So what is the past life love story with this person? So you got Dragon, Supernatural, and Bison, Abundance. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shape shift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Okay, then you got Bison, Abundance. Sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Okay, listen. Your past life love story with this person is a little bit of a roller coaster and a little bit of a mess. I'm not going to lie to you. It is insane. So here, okay. First of all, just remember that we were all different people in our past lives. Don't get mad at me, but I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. The male in this past life was a criminal. The female in this past life was either a bartender, a tavern owner, or a maid who worked in a tavern, or a prostitute who worked in the tavern. One of those things. So you guys met when he came into your bar. He was kind of like a lone wolf, I'm seeing. So he didn't really run with a gang, although this is a general reading, so he very well may have for some of you. But the group that I'm tuning into here is that he was kind of like a lone wolf. He came into your bar. He was very mysterious. If you were the bartender or the tavern owner or the maid, you served him, gave him food, gave him his beer. If you were a prostitute in the tavern, then he solicited your services. You guys, when I tuned into this energy, I felt a lot of sexual energy. So this relationship was very lustful, very, very lustful. If you can think of the most fiery, passionate, dichotomous, dangerous love story, this is it. So you guys had this passionate night together. Even if you were a bartender or a maid or a waitress or whatever in this tavern, you guys still slept together, regardless if you were a hooker or not. You guys slept together. He left after that, and he left for a while. Actually, I'm seeing there was a period of just he just dipped. He's very he's coming out kind of like that cowboy energy. He just comes in with his gun on his, in his gun holder, and he's just walking with his cowboy boots, very smooth. And then he just rides off into the desert and then comes back a year later, and then tries to pick things up like nothing ever happened or no time has passed or something like that. So another thing I want to mention is that I pulled here the King of Wands in reverse, and I pulled here the Queen of Cups. If this doesn't tell you exactly the energy of your relationship, I don't know what else will. The King of Wands in reverse, he couldn't settle down. He couldn't stay still. He had way too much fiery energy. He was unpredictable, and he was not reliable. He was very fierce, a strong fighter. And you here with this Queen of Cups was very much more stable. You're trying to give him love. You loved him. Because we also picked that up here somewhere. It says, fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. You had a lot of love for him. So you were more cuppy, like more watery. Your energy was kind of diffusing his fire a bit. On his own, this guy is a menace to society. He's a firecracker. You were pretty much one of the only people who could kind of tame him. No one could ever tame this guy fully. But when he was around you, he kind of calmed down a bit. He kind of, calmed down with the swearing, calmed down a bit with all the drinking, calmed down a bit with all the fighting and starting fights, calmed down a bit with just, just everything, just even for a time period, a small, short period of time, a little bit of calmness. But of course, keep in mind that no one could ever calm this guy completely. But that dichotomy between your energies, the Queen of Cups and the King of Wands in reverse, it's literally the energy of the two of you guys. So you, even though you may have been a hooker, you loved a lot. You had a big heart. You loved helping people, and you really fell for this guy. And you were the kind of romantic. You're the romantic type. So... and underneath the deck here, we have the Seven of Swords. This guy was a trickster. He may have been a con artist. He was a con artist, a criminal. So what happened is that he left for at least a year. Disappeared after you guys slept together. After that one night that he came in, this may have been one of those taverns where they have beds that you can sleep in. Maybe he slept for one night, 2 nights maybe, and then he just left for at least a year, maybe more. Came back, especially if he came during a specific season, winter time, it kind of seems, especially with this bison here. Maybe he came during winter, then he came back the following winter or something. Doesn't matter. But then he came back, and you were pissed at him for just up and leaving like that. But at the same time, you kind of knew he just solicited your services, or you guys just had a one night stand. So you didn't really expect him to really stay around, and you knew his type. But you were still a little bit hurt that he just disappeared for that long. And then when he came back, your heart melted again when you were around him. So you guys picked up this relationship again. And I'm seeing a little bit of a playing house here, because I clarified the house card and we got the Page of Cups. This was a very juvenile sort of playing house thing that happened. He stayed a little bit longer the second time around, and you were his girlfriend, or you were just the girl who he was sleeping with the most, and there was and you did calm him down a bit. But there was a kind of juvenile playing house thing that happened. Not a serious thing. It just a lot of fire and passion and stuff like that. Underdeveloped. Now, he got into a brawl at some point. Because I think what he would do is that I think at some point he was living with you, or he was living in the tavern. If you owned the tavern, he was living there. Or if you didn't own the tavern, he was living in an apartment nearby, or he was living in your apartment, and he would come in and out, kind of a revolving door. So he would come in, stay for a couple of days, leave again for a couple of days, or leave for a night, come back during the day, or leave for the whole day, come back at night. It was kind of on and off kind of thing. But it's he had a key to your apartment, or he had a perpetual room in that tavern or something. He paid for it several nights in a row up front, because this guy, of course, he did sketchy dealing, so he had some extra cash, he had some money. As one night he came back and he was battered here with this bad health card. I think he may have gotten into some sort of shootout with the police. for some of you guys, but for the rest of you guys, he got into some sort of shootout with, or a brawl, a fist brawl with a gang, a rival gang, or a rival gang member, or a rival criminal. And he came back with like maybe a black eye, some bruises, some cuts, maybe even a couple of bullet wounds. Yeah. So he came to you. You had to treat him. You had to treat him rather amateurly, because he couldn't go to the hospital. Because he was wanted, this guy. He was wanted. So as soon as he would show up if he would show up at the hospital, you know, they would call the cops. He would be arrested almost immediately. So especially if something happened, like if someone ended up dying, now he may have been wanted for murder, or maybe the police wanted to question him for murder, especially, you know, if someone died during that brawl. So and also if he was fighting with police, then of course they're going to be looking for him. So he came to you. You treated him very amateurly, and you also hid him in your home for a while he was recovering from his wounds. How long that lasted, I can't exactly tell you. But eventually he got caught somehow, and he wound up in jail with this imprisonment card here next to the main mail. Let me see. Let's clarify community. This card. Okay, 5 of Pentacles underneath the deck. And we have, oh yeah, 7 of Cups, the Lovers, the Sun in reverse, although they could be upright. Okay. This is what I'm picking up from for this. Some of you guys, you actually got pregnant. You found out you were pregnant around the time that this happened here, where he got into this fight. It was probably during the time that he was staying at your place and hiding out from the cops while he was healing from his wounds. You got pregnant, and around the time that he got caught and got imprisoned, got jailed, you found out you were pregnant. You were also left in a poor financial situation, especially if you did get pregnant. Some of you guys, I'm picking up like he took care of you financially because he made so much money illegally. He took care of you to the point where you didn't really have to work at that tavern or work in that brothel anymore. And then when he got arrested, like, he had some money stashed away and you had some money stashed away, but not enough, and you were left in a kind of off financial situation. Some of you guys, I'm seeing here with these 2 cards that you had to go back to your jobs. You had to go back to the brothel, or you had to go back to the tavern when he got arrested. Pile 4, what happened to the girl? What happened to her? Some of you guys had to kind of snitch on him. I'm trying to figure out, I'm asking what happened to you. Here we have the Page of Cups and we have the Justice. And notice how you dropped from the Queen of Cups here. And you see how she looks very stressed having to sign this document. Some of you guys had to snitch on him. And then underneath the deck, I do have the Ace of Cups. So you guys were not together forever. You had to move on. You had to start something new. It ended abruptly with that Tower card. Like I'm telling you, he got arrested or something like that. You didn't have very many options with that Two of Swords in reverse. You didn't have many options about like the way your life would go after him, what you would do. Yeah, and I pulled the Eight of Swords. You guys were kind of trapped after he left. I really feel like he was helping you out financially, and you were also really in love with him. So you not only were you heartbroken when he left, you were also financially destitute. And I keep pulling this, I keep pulling the Hierophant card, and here we have the Judgment card. There was something to do with like religion here. Some of you guys maybe went to a nunnery or a convent afterwards, especially if you had a kid out of wedlock and you needed someone to take care of your kid. You may have given the kid to a nunnery. Yeah, given up the kid. Some of you guys, I'm seeing that the cops raided your home after he got arrested. And they ended up taking maybe a lot of money or just some more evidence or something like that. Especially some stuff that you may have purchased was confiscated or something like that. Some of you guys ended up investing or hiding enough money that you were able to leave, to skip town, but you still had a lot of money. Here I pulled the Queen of Pentacles, and I also pulled the 10 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. So a lot of Pentacles. There are like two subgroups. Some of you guys, because remember I did pull that 5 of Pentacles. So some of you guys were in a tough financial situation when he left. Others of you guys were flourishing after he left. You guys, you definitely left town there with that 3 of Wands. You left. And I also got the Ace of Swords underneath. Definitely a new life without him. 5 of Pentacles again. Some of you guys really like took a plea deal or something. Maybe you were in part of this somehow. Some of you guys were also part of this somehow, like part of his illegal dealings. Maybe it's probably like an accessory, knowing or that all the illegal activity that was happening, you were probably indictable somehow, legally indictable because being an accessory or something like that. Some of you guys, I'm seeing that you ended up marrying one of his business partners, or like one of his friends who were also like a criminal, and that's how you were able to maintain all of the money. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm seeing like kind of like two subgroups here. One subgroup of you guys, I already saw that when your place got raided and when he got arrested, and especially if you had a kid, that you were kind of destitute and you didn't have much money. Now the other group of you guys, this is like a mess. I'm seeing that you ended up having a lot of money because you stashed away a lot of money, and you slipped out of town after he got arrested. Some of you guys did a plea deal because you were also being indicted. You did some sort of plea deal to get out of it. And you were able to get out of it. And you skipped town. You took a crap load of money with you. You also took someone else with you, like his business partner or something. And you guys started a new relationship. What the hell happened afterwards? This is the only group that I'm gonna, this is actually annoying me. I'm gonna do another spread with the Kipper just to figure out what the heck happened after he got arrested. It's like, what is going on? I'm getting so annoyed here. You made a plan with some man. Some of you guys made a plan with a business partner or like a cop to avoid getting arrested or something. You made, here he is. There he is. That's the cop. Here's the cop right here. There he is. You were either going to be poor, some of you guys, like you were going to be poor, so in order for you to get poor you had to make some sort of business deal, some deal with a copper. Here, imprisonment. Yeah, this is a cop. There you are. You are avoiding going to jail here. You avoided, just very, like, by the skin of your teeth. Look at you. I'm sorry, but you played the field like a double agent at some point. Sudden wealth. You guys played the field. At some point, you kind of turned on him. At some point, when you realized that shit was about to hit the fan, you made some sort of deal with a cop, a plea deal, because your ass was going to go to jail too. And you made some sort of plea deal so that you didn't lose all of your money. And you got out of it by indicting him even more in all of his illegal activities. He was in jail. You took the money, you skipped town, and you never came back, and you guys never saw each other again. Here we have this despair card. Yeah. You guys never saw each other again. So there you go. So you may resonate in this lifetime with the male, or at least one of you guys, because you guys could have switched genders in this lifetime, but the person who was the male in that past life, in this lifetime, may resonate with them being a little dodgy, a little sketchy, a little bit immoral, a little bit secretive, a little bit impulsive. You may also resonate with the female, whoever was the female in that past life, and in this life also being a little dodgy, sketchy, impulsive, not impulsive, dodgy, sketchy, secretive, and someone who likes money a lot. The one who was the female in the past life, in this life, she or he, whatever they incarnated as, likes nice things. This connection that you guys had was probably very lustful when you guys were together in this lifetime, and short-lived. This is reminding me of, you know, that Eminem and Rihanna song? It's alright because I like the way you lie, or I love the way you lie. That song. Go listen to that song. That's your relationship in the past life, and that's probably your relationship in this life now. Literally, that Eminem and Rihanna song, like literally, that is your life now with this person. That was your life back then with this person. This is a karmic partner. Any relationship with this person in any lifetime is just going to be filled with a lot of lustful energy, a lot of criminal activity or dodgy, sneaky activity, and a lot of fighting, anger, maybe even abuse, hitting each other, throwing things at each other. And it's not a partnership that is meant to last. So if you want a good representation of your past energy, just again, that Eminem and Rihanna song. So there you go. Those are your messages. I hope that resonated, and I hope that helped you. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading.